Hello, I'm Gareth Davies, and this is the Championship Rounds for Pitch Boxing, where I bring you all the interviews from the combat sports world. Enjoy. So we're here in Bristol.
Bristol!
Sold out Manchester, everywhere else.
Shout out Bristol!
Tyson, how are you enjoying being on tour around the UK? I mean, you've done probably about 12 venues now. How's it going?
It's going ab fab. Ab fab. Absolutely enjoying myself, meeting all my fans all over up and down the country. Probably met about 10,000 people so far, probably more.
And do you not mind, we're in a tiny little leisure centre, well, a big leisure centre, but on the outskirts of Bristol.
Yeah.
But they're all here in their hordes
They're all
to
in
see
people heard
600 coming tonight.
King, yeah. Listen, 600 tonight, 1,000 tomorrow, 1,600 the next day, and 1,800 the next day. So we get to see quite a lot of people and quite a lot of fans. So it is what it is. Do you know what it is? It makes you realise that what I do, people enjoy it, they love it, you know, they turn out, and I'm overwhelmed with the support. You know, 94,000 at Wembley. I thought it'd be very, very fitting to come out and show love to the people out here, meeting them, taking pictures, shaking hands, giving them hugs, kisses, whatever they want. Every time.
Are you in the ring? I would say, can you call yourself an artist? But outside it, you're an entertainer.
In the ring, I'm like Picasso. Very much Picasso / Monet.
Painting the canvas.
Painting these guys. Pop, 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 bang. I'm untouchable. I can't be touched, can I?
And then outside the ring?
And outside the ring, I'm an actual born entertainer.
So you're doing this, you're having a summer break with the family.
Yep. I'm doing this Netflix doc.
Oh
just
yeah.
about
What's
official.
that going to be like then? Is that warts and all? Is it flat?
Yeah. I reveal all at home with the Furies. Started a few days ago. It's going absolutely fantastic. 3 series, baby! Not 1, 10 episodes, 3 series. Bosh! Made it. Game of Thrones, eat your heart out. Boom!
And all that busyness, is that
Love
good
it,
for you?
love
I mean,
it.
you look
training
really
twice a day. Look
yeah.
at me. I'm fucking flying. Look at me. I'm fucking flying. I'm flying, mate.
So are we going to see you back in the ring again?
Well, you never know. Never, ever, ever say never.
Even in exhibitions,
Even
maybe?
an exhibition. Might have an exhibition coming up very, very soon.
What did you make of Derek Shaw's performance the other night?
I thought Derek did absolutely fantastic. But, however, me and Derek Chisora used to be chum buddies, okay? I went to Monaco to support him. I went to Hamburg to support him. And then, as soon as I have a fight, he goes, I'll pick the other guy. So Derek Chisora can kiss my ass. And if I see him, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Could you see him in a ring,
Thinking
maybe?
about it, you know. After the fight, he came to the after party and he said, oh, this, that and the other, made a million excuses. But at the end of the day, you don't do that to your friends. If you're friends with somebody, you back up. You don't go with the other guy who you don't like anyway. You go with your friend. So, after what he did, backing Dylan White to knock me out, have his house on it and all that, how confident it was. You know, we ain't friends anymore. And when I see you, Derek, you got me to fight. Pow!
Is a trilogy with him even possible down
Well,
the
who
line?
knows? Listen, Derek Chisora, if you're out there and you want to fight, come and see me. I've busted you 2 times before already, and I'll do it again, you little sucker. Ah!
You famously said recently that you could train Anthony Joshua to beat
Anthony
Alexander
Joshua
Usyk.
is a shithouse,
But
and I'll knock him out too. And if he beats Usyk, he's got to fight me for free in England, for the fans. Not for hundreds of millions abroad in a foreign country. Here in the UK, free-to-air television, free tickets, sell out Wembley. It'll be watched by 30 million people for free on free-to-air television. No pay-per-view, no money earned. We do this one for the fans of the United Kingdom. Let's see who's the real man of the people. I know I am. That's why I'm willing to do it for free here in the United Kingdom. But he will not want to do that. He'll want to travel abroad because he's a businessman. And I don't give a fuck about business. I'm here representing 500 people in Bristol. Do I care about business? I don't think so. It took me 5 hours to get here.
But if you said famously the other day that if you were training him, you could train him to beat Usyk.
Easy,
what would you train him to do?
Very easy.
Yeah.
I'm training to beat Usyk, not a problem. But he doesn't want my help because I would definitely train him to win, and he doesn't obviously don't want to win.
What would you get him to do?
I won't tell you because that's giving the secrets away. You know, it's quite private information what I do. But probably you'll see what I'll do, because when this little middleweight batters the bodybuilder again, who's going to lose again, then they're going to call for Achilles to come out. They will cry and groan for Achilles to come back. And I'm going to say, get fucked, I'm retired, I don't want to fight. And then when they beg him to come out of retirement, I will return, but it's going to be very costly, like I said. And I'll show you how to deal with a middleweight.
Frank Warren said to me the other day, and this is so true, and forgive me for saying this, he would never put any pressure on you, but what he's also saying is, I hope Tyson doesn't go away for 3 years now and then come back at 36.
I've already done that. I've been away for 3 years and come back and regain my belts.
Because you're in your prime
now. I could go away for 5 years, Gareth. Eat shit and drink every day, come back at 30 stone, lose weight, and then still say about everybody out there. Because I'm that good. I'm that much ahead of the game. Never ever been seen before, never will be seen again.
What do you think that people are now comparing
the best
you?
To ever do it.
Yeah.
The best to ever do it.
People are comparing you to that you are the biggest heavyweight figure since Muhammad Ali.
Of course I am. I sold out 94,000 on my own in an hour without even an opponent. Dylan White didn't even come to the press conference. Nothing. I'm the man. I told them Klitschko. I said, you fought all them people before. You fought the Mexicans, you fought the Americans, you fought the Africans. But you ain't never fought a Gypsy King before. And you're fighting one now, pal. I said, forget about the Chisoras, the Joshuas, the David Hayes. There's only Tyson Fury on these shores. I'm the Dauntless in these waters. Me. There only ever has been me, and there only ever will be me. The one and only true king. King of the North! Come on!
You've just been with Nick Blackwell, suffered a terrible brain hemorrhage against Chris Eubank Jr. He got out from hospital afterwards and he went back to spar in the gym because he loved boxing so much. We were just talking about how, for you guys, for you warriors, that being in the ring, sparring, fighting, it's an addiction.
It is an addiction. And once you've got that bug for boxing, it never goes away. Look at me dad, he's nearly 60 years old and he trains every day. Sometimes twice a day when we're on tour. So you can never let it go. So Nick had that horrific injury against Eubank, and then he thought he was recovered, and he went back sparring to the gym because he couldn't let it go. And he thought he was recovered, he thought he would be okay. But he ended up getting a worse injury, and now he's on the road to recovery. He's looking really well, actually.
He is.
Best I've seen him in years.
I agree.
He looks really well, so I'm very, very happy for him. But it just goes to show that the old boxing, it never leaves you. You know, I've seen like Tim Witherspoon. How old's Big Tim?
Late 50s?
Late 50s, he's always shadowboxing and wanting to fight. And Larry Holmes thinking he's still got it.
Well, I saw Larry Holmes in London a couple of months ago. He said, I'd give that Tyson Fury a good whopping. He said, if I could still move around the ring, I'd get in there and give him a good whopping. Battle of the jabs.
It's a good job he can, because I'll go body shots on him, because he must be 65.
No, he's in his 70s even.
70s, and even easier. It's more low blows. No, but it is an addiction.
Derek Chisora, then, is he so addicted and he can't stop?
Derek Chisora is getting a slap off me when I see him, actually, because I've had time to think about this now. And if someone's your pal, you don't go against him and back the other bloke. And he's gone and done that, so he deserves a backhand off me.
Is Derek addicted to it, though?
I'm not sure. He'll be addicted to the back of my hand when I see him. I might do it once or twice. Slap, slap.
Talk to me about you and the addiction.
I won't soil my
boxing,
knuckles on the man.
Yeah.
I won't soil my knuckles on the man. I'll slap him in the back of the hand. Get up!
How are you going to overcome your addiction for fighting? How are you going to overcome? How are you going to handle your addiction to fighting? Because you love it.
When I see Derek, come here, Derek. Slap! 4 fingers right in the teeth, and he's going to go. Ow! Got it. No, on a serious note, Derek Chisora and me's got to have a problem when I see him. That's a fact. You heard it here first. Because you don't go around backing the other person if you're supposed to be somebody's friend. And I've had time to marinate this, and I'm quite serious about it.
You're going to cook him, yeah?
I'm going to slow roast him.
Talk to me about addiction, though, and about the addiction, how you are going to handle your addiction to fighting.
Well, my addiction is not fighting. It's not fighting. My addiction's training. As you can tell, look here. In great shape. All over.
So that addiction's just going to stay with
The
you?
addiction will stay with me for life. My grandfather, he died at 77, and he even jogged on the day he died. So there's no excuses for people not to train. I've got a friend who's paralysed from the chest down, Sean. He's got one
Sean
leg
Cash,
off,
yeah.
and the other leg doesn't work. And he trains all the time. So there's no excuses. I'm not going to be an if I would have, should have, could have. Like, oh my God, I should have done this, I should have done that. I'm going to be a doer. I did this because, bang. And that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to train forever. As long as my body will let me train, and when the body wears out, I'll train anyway. I'll still train. I'll always train. Love training. Just love training. And then that's it. I'm going to die. I'll probably train in heaven. I'll ask God for a section in the gym. And got to have gyms up there, haven't they? They've got everything else, apparently. So, you know, they've got to have a gym, and I'll probably be the boss of the gym.
You've talked to me about, just to go on this point, one final thing. You've talked to me before about when you got really fit for camp and you got really focused to have a fight.
Yes.
That walkout, everything slows down. The adrenaline is so amazing that you can feel every millisecond almost, and things almost are in slow motion for you.
That's correct, and especially in that last fight with the 94,000 people will come out, and it was like, the songs that I chose, they were like, to me, they were tailor-made for me. Like, it was all a dream, Biggie Smalls. Like, I used to read like the words in the boxing magazine when I was a kid, see all the heavyweight champions in there, and then to come out to the biggest crowd ever recorded at Wembley, and then all of a sudden it was like, lay where you're laying. The sex is on fire. You've got a 6'9" heavyweight champion of the world coming out to Sex on Fire after it was all a dream. Doesn't get any better.
Does it not seem real sometimes?
It was almost surreal at the moment. In that moment, it was surreal, and it was a moment that I'd been waiting for such a long time. And I did owe it to the fans, and I owed it to everyone who'd supported me all those years and stayed up till all hours in the morning watching pay-per-views and stuff from Las Vegas or Los Angeles or wherever. So to be able to come back and box in front of my home crowd in the national stadium in my home country, that was the biggest event that could have ever happened in my life. And nothing's going to beat that. To come here, back to the UK after being on the road for 4 or 5 years, and top the bill at Wembley against a British opponent defending the heavyweight championship of the world. And let's not forget, since that had happened last, the WBC at home was Frank Bruno, Lennox Lewis. When was that, 1991 or something?
93 is a long time ago, yeah.
A long time ago. It was a great moment. And it was a fantastic evening, and it ended beautifully.
Are you able...
It was poetry in motion.
Are you able to recall in a really kind of vivid way, round by round, or do you have to watch it back to know what was going on?
You don't really remember everything that's in the ring because it's a blur. It's like you're so focused on the opponent, you don't see the referee in there until he comes close. You don't think there's 3 people in that ring. But I remember lining him up for that uppercut all night.
Had you practiced that uppercut?
No, I've always had that shot. It's always been there. But I've been practicing punching really hard lately, letting the punches fly. And I knew it wasn't going to be a long punch job. I knew I'd knock him out with a single clean punch. And I said to the guys in the changing room, I said, it's going to be a spectacular knockout tonight. And I've set him up, going upstairs, going down, going outside, both sides. And I thought, I saw something, but did he see me see that? Did he just see me see that? I'm thinking, fuck it. Bang! And he obviously didn't see me see it.
More satisfying than stopping Wilder?
They're all equally satisfying. Nothing will be more satisfying than stopping Wilder in that second fight after being given a draw. So that was the most satisfying victory of them. But you know, it's always good to get a good knockout at home.
Tyson, when you look back on the Vladimir Klitschko fight, have you watched it back? Does it give you more satisfaction now looking back on it? Because you didn't really get the plaudits at the time.
No, I didn't get the plaudits.
3 belts.
3 belts, WBA Super, WBO Super,
IBF.
IBO and Ring Magazine. How many is that?
5. But
5.
We
So why do people keep saying 3?
Well,
Get your facts right, journalist. I had this debate with someone in the arena on that night.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
In the press conference, someone said, "Now you're a 3 belt champion." I went, "Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 belts here, and I've won them all."
You'd have.
So there we are.
But when you look back on it, is it more satisfying now what you achieved that night, 7 years
It will
ago?
always be my best performance of my life, that one, because it was against 11-year reigning champion with so many title defences. We've forgotten how many he'd had. And he'd just been like able to beat everybody so easy over the years, and all these dangerous threats that he'd had, i.e. the Eddie Chambers, the Povetkins, the Hayes, everybody, he handled them very, very comfortable. All these mandatories, one after the other, turned them back. Then I went over there and done something that had never happened to Klitschko before. Klitschko had been knocked out a few times, a couple of times in his career, but he'd never been outboxed like that, a boxing lesson. Never. He didn't think that was even possible.
Because you knew you could take his jab away like that.
You've always got to expect the unexpected. And I took his jab away from him, and I bamboozled him with footwork and feints.
And he couldn't trigger the right lead, could he?
Because if you can't land your jab, guess what? You can't land your right hand. He said it in the press conference. Someone said to him in the presser afterwards, "Was your right hand hurt?"
It was me, yeah.
And he said, "No." He said, "I couldn't land the jab, his distance was too good, the control was too good." And he said, he boxed really well tonight, and I couldn't land my jab, so I couldn't land the right hand. That was it. It was a fantastic display of boxing, and it'll be an underrated display forever. Throughout heavyweight history, that will be an most underrated boxing display as an 8-1 underdog going in to become the unified heavyweight champion of the world against all the odds. That was an absolutely fantastic display. And that was the end of career 1. Chapter finished. Done.
What was part 2?
Part 2 was my second career. So the second career would be the comeback, probably the biggest boxing comeback in the history of our sport, barring none. There'd been people had time off before and come back many times, but there hadn't been people come back from the brinks of suicide and mental health struggle openly.
10 stone overweight.
Attempted suicides. 10 stone overweight's nothing, because that's only a bit of weight loss. Anybody can lose weight. But the biggest problem was the mental health struggle, and no one will really know how bad I really was. So that was absolutely fantastic to come back from that and then regain and get back to the top of the tree where I belong. Back on top where I belong.